Eric, before we get into your new song, Jungle, which is a great music video, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. I want to know where your passion for music came from. Was it a certain album inspired it, a live performance, or something that was just natural for you as a child?
I remember when I was a kid. I grew up in the Congo, Africa, and my brother was a DJ, and he used to play me a lot of old, really classic records, and the one that got me the most was Prince. And
Nice.
I remember I was a kid, and he left, and he had turntables. He used to love, playing music on turntables. And I was too short to reach for the turntable, so I climbed on a chair and I put the needle on, and it was Prince, the album For You, and it starts with these vocals. It's like very like angelic, and I remember at that very moment going, I want to be like that. I want to be able to make my own music. I want to be able to, do something special. And I just became a fanatic after that, watching Prince's shows and just everything. And it's the one, driving element for me as an artist, because he's reached so many high points in his career, and being so authentic to himself as an artist, that has truly been one of my main driving force for music. I wanted to be an artist that is able to do something that's authentic, that has a message, that's exciting, and that means something.
That's so cool, man. Well, you talk about growing up in Congo. I mean, is that, I assume, like, it's a war-torn country. It also kind of influenced this song Jungle too, besides what's
Yeah,
going on here in the
absolutely.
West.
The chants you hear in the back, I had told myself that I wanted to do something that's, if in music, everything's been done already. So the only thing that I realized could be done different is your twist on it. And that comes from your personal experience. So for me, I was like, well, the Congo is my personal experience. And I remember hearing these chants, everywhere I go. So I'm like, what if I
Yeah.
was to add some of my personal elements to the music that I make? So I looked for African chants, and when I found this, I'm like, this is great, and I just added it to it, and that's where it came from.
I love that. It really adds a lot to the song. So this is your first single, right? I know. You have any other music in the band, Royal? Or I tried searching on Apple Music, but there's a lot of different artists that have Royal in their name.
I know that's the trick, is that it's
Yeah.
as an artist, as Eric Zayne, I've put out a lot of different music, but I've decided
Uh-huh.
to do this Royal thing, because for me, Royal was, growing up in the Congo, and seeing the war-torn country that it became. I lived all over the world since I was 13, because I was evacuated by myself without my family, and I had to basically survive. And I
Mhm.
saw all kinds of different cultures. I lived in Asia, I lived in Africa, I lived in America, I lived in Canada, I lived everywhere. And I just saw that there's a unity between all of us, no matter how different our suffering is, or our successes are. There's something that connects us all. And I feel like we're divided by so much class. You're rich, I'm poor, you're this, you're that. And no matter
Yeah.
where you go, there's always this division. And I wanted to, it's important to me as an artist to actually unify, and to, uplift people. So Royal was based on that ideology of, we are all special, no matter where we come from and who we are. So I wanted a song that reflect this. And funny enough, the song was written 2 years ago,
Oh
based
wow.
on that idea. But when you listen to the words now, I mean, I live in Los Angeles, and it just feels
Yeah.
like you could just come out and just look at the riots, and it would all, be exactly what the lyrics are.
Yeah, and the music video, I assume you happen to be shooting this, stars kind of line. Was there another plan beforehand, like what the music video was going to be about, or?
The video was going to be exactly that when I wrote it 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Thing, my friend Tony,
So you're
who's
going
in
to
the
use probably like old footage, and just happened to have the George Floyd protest and everything. So did
yeah.
you shoot it, or did you buddy Tony? I guess. Yeah.
No, Tony. So I asked Tony to come and shoot a rehearsal of the band that was shot 6 months ago. That's what the
The live
performance footage
performance.
is.
Yeah.
It's just a live rehearsal.
Mhm.
And he went, and he's so passionate about the song, that he went in the middle of the riots and shot everything with himself with a handy cam, and put it together. And then he sent it to me, and I was like, holy shit, like this is
Yeah.
exactly what I had in mind. And it just came together. I was
Oh,
amazed.
it's very beautiful. I like that it's black and white. It really shares the message that's going on today. And it's crazy that you wrote this song so long ago. When I was looking for other music on your Facebook page, there was a cool video. I guess it was at some show where the power went out and you had to like start singing like improv acapella. Tell us about that. That was a really beautiful moment, actually.
I shine in those moments. Like I've learned that to be a great performer is not when everything's going good, but how you're gonna show up when everything's going to shit. And I
Yeah.
love because like I'm not afraid to play and sing and improvise. I mean, I've done shows where I literally just improvise the entire show, and it was very special. So at that moment, it's a club called Sayers, and it's a very special club, and there was just hundreds of people in the audience. And the power went out in the middle of the second song, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, let's just make it up. And the middle of, I just went in the front of the stage and just started singing, and you know, and it was fun, and that's what that moment was.
I love it. So Royal's like this new band of yours, but you kind of been in the music scene in LA for a while. You either wrote or produced with different artists like Cee Lo Green, Randy Jackson. Talk about that. And when did you arrive to LA?
I got to LA about 9 years ago. Before that, I was traveling the world as a musician. And when I got to LA, producing is not something that I've always that I wanted to do. It's just something that was natural for me to do. Um, and you know, people just started asking me if I can produce their song, and from word to mouth, uh, you know, every you know, everyone started coming to the studio, and it just became like this thing where it's not. And I think part of it is that because I'm not, I don't consider myself a producer. I'm an artist that creates music for myself or other people. There's no ego about it, and I think because of that, a lot of people have been wanting to work with me, from you know Pussycat Dolls to Cee Lo Green to Pitbull to like you name it. And it was just magic in the studio where I would, you know, every single week there would be like 4 new artists, 4 new singles, and things would just come out. Um, and it's been a really interesting ride because it's like I would say no to it often, and the more I would say no, the more it would come to me. And finally, when I had a break, I'm like, I'm done. I want to do this project. This is what is in my heart. It's in my mind. So I put this entire album together. The album is done. It's been done for a year, and we've been waiting for the right time to release the first single. But I'm so excited about the songs that are coming out next, because if you like this one, I mean, it's a really cool project that's a mix between Hosier and you know, Arctic Monkeys and just Prince, and it's just got some really cool elements to it. I can't wait to get the next single
Oh
out.
yeah, there's I guess it was like a teaser song for our upcoming show on your Facebook page, but it had this cool like
Right.
choir in the background. It was like something about I won't go down, it's a thousand war, or something like that. Is that like another song that's gonna be in the album or?
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely a lot of them, and they're really cool. Yeah, I know the one you talked about. I forgot about that one. I won't go. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
What a great voice, man. I can't wait to hear this album. Is so I mean, I've just released a single. What's the plan for? I know with the world going on right now, it's kind of hard to release album and tour, you know. So
So we're formulating the plan right now. There's a lot of really cool things in the works, and pretty soon I put out 2 singles with Royal so far. One is Where You Belong. That was the first one that I put out during COVID, and it was a really uplifting song because the album that is put together is more of a darker um, stadium you know, sort of album, but that one was called Where You Belong. It's very positive, it's beautiful. And then the next one was Jungle, which is more in line with what's about to come next. So the album is done. We're planning on the next single now, and you know, we will announce as soon as it's ready.
all right. Well, thank you so much, man. We'll keep in touch and keep up that beautiful voice, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right, take care.
Bye.